All right. So have you ever felt like you're just, stuck on that financial treadmill?
Hmm.
Just working and working and working and never getting anywhere?
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad
Oh, yeah.
to see if his wisdom can help us, break free from that.
Yeah. I think this book is a great place to start when you want to kind of shift your
Because
mindset about personal finance and look at money in a new way.
so let's jump into it. Um, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
It's a pretty unconventional book,
Right.
and one of the first things that it really emphasizes is mindset.
Yes.
So, like, what does it mean to have that wealthy mindset?
Well, Kiyosaki uses this really interesting approach in the book.
Yeah.
He contrasts the mindsets of two dads, his
Yeah.
own father, who he calls poor dad,
Right.
and then his friend's father, who he calls rich dad.
Okay.
Poor dad is very much focused on, job security,
Yeah.
going to school, getting a good job, working for somebody else.
Working for the man.
Yeah, working for the man, exactly. And, saving money, frugality.
Right.
Whereas rich dad, he definitely values financial literacy, but it's more about seeing opportunity where others see risk.
Okay. So, like, taking risks.
It's not just about taking risks for the sake of risks. It's calculated risks. So
This is more like entrepreneurship, kind of.
exactly. So poor dad focuses on earning money through a job,
Okay.
whereas rich dad is focused on building wealth through assets.
So that brings us to another key concept from the book,
Yeah.
which is this distinction between assets and liabilities.
Yeah, I love this part of the book. It's so important.
Can you break that down for us? Give us some concrete examples.
So an asset, put simply, puts money in your pocket. It's something that generates income for you,
Okay.
even while you sleep.
So passive income.
Passive income, exactly. A rental property that generates monthly rent.
Yeah.
That's a classic example of an asset. Stocks that pay dividends. That's another example. Now, a liability, on the other hand, is something that takes money out of your pocket.
Okay.
So, your mortgage payments, your car payments, your credit card bills.
That brand new car that loses value as soon as you drive it off the lot.
Exactly. It's a liability. Most cars are. So basically,
Makes you think twice about, all that stuff that you buy.
it really does.
But even if we start to, like, grasp these concepts,
Yeah.
we can shift our mindset. We know what an asset and a liability is.
Yeah.
Kiyosaki points out another big hurdle, this whole lack of financial literacy in our education system.
Oh, he is a big critic of the traditional education system
Yeah.
when it comes to personal finance.
Yeah.
He argues that schools focus too much on, history, math, science,
Yeah.
all very important topics,
Sure.
but that they neglect to teach us practical life skills,
Yeah.
like managing our personal finances.
Okay.
And that's a huge disservice, I think. Understanding things like cash flow, how money moves in and out of your life. Learning to read financial statements, like a balance sheet.
It's like we're given the keys to a car, but we have no idea how the engine works.
Exactly.
But Rich Dad, Poor Dad is really encouraging us to take control, to become financially literate. And one way that Kiyosaki says we can do that is by breaking free from the rat race.
The rat race, yeah. It's this idea, you go to school,
Work for the man.
yeah, you get a job, you work for somebody else,
Yeah.
you climb that corporate ladder, and you just keep working harder and harder.
If you get your paycheck and then you spend your paycheck,
You spend your paycheck, and then you just repeat the cycle over and over.
you never get ahead.
Exactly. And you're trapped. So Kiyosaki emphasizes the importance of building multiple income streams.
Okay, so that's like entrepreneurship and
Entrepreneurship, real estate investing, starting a side hustle, finding ways to make money work for you.
instead of the other way around.
Exactly.
That's when things start to get really exciting, I think.
Absolutely. But it's important to recognize
Yeah.
that there are challenges that come along with that too.
Right, for sure.
Like building a business is hard work.
It's not like you just snap your fingers and suddenly
Oh,
you're a millionaire.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes dedication.
Yeah.
It takes research. It takes planning.
And taking some risks.
And taking risks, yeah. But Kiyosaki argues that calculated risks
Yeah.
are a necessary part of building wealth.
So how do you kind of define calculated risks?
Well, it's not about diving in headfirst without doing your due diligence.
Okay.
It's about educating yourself about the opportunity. It's about doing your research.
Okay.
It's about understanding the potential downsides as well as the upsides.
So like weighing those risks and rewards.
Exactly. It's about having a plan.
Okay.
And, sometimes even with a great plan, things don't work out the way you expected.
Right.
But that's okay. That's part of the process.
And that leads into another key theme that runs throughout the book,
Yeah.
this whole idea of overcoming fear and doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Kiyosaki believes that fear, especially the fear of failure, can be paralyzing.
Yeah.
It can keep us stuck in our comfort zones and prevent us from pursuing our dreams.
So how do we push past that fear?
Well, Kiyosaki's advice is to embrace failure,
Okay.
to view setbacks as learning experiences.
All right, so don't be afraid to fail.
Don't be afraid to fail. Learn from your mistakes,
Okay.
pick yourself back up, and keep going.
So Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Huh?
It's really about more than just money management.
It's a blueprint for a whole new way of thinking about wealth.
Shifting your mindset. Understanding the difference between an asset and a liability.
Taking control of your finances through education and taking calculated risks to pursue your financial goals.
And not being afraid to fail along the way.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive. It's really given me a lot to think about. What about you out there? Have you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? What are some of the ideas that resonated with you? What are you inspired to put into action? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.